posted February 27, 2019, 16 hours, 56 minutes and 44 seconds. A young woman killed in a horror car crash outside Darwin last month could have been alive had territory families enforced proper supervision of a young offender, a court has heard. Key points. A prosecutor has blasted the anti-government department responsible for supervising a teen who was on a suspended sentence when he allegedly rolled a car, killing a woman. The prosecutor has called for territory families' conduct to be investigated. Justice Anthony Graham said the teen's breaches of his suspended sentence conditions showed a contempt for the system. Martin Shields, 18, committed 4 breaches of a supervision order before allegedly being behind the wheel of a car that rolled on January 24. The woman, 30, one of his passengers, died at the scene of the crash on the Stewart Highway in Darwin's rural area. At the time, he was serving the remainder of a sentence for a serious offense which was suspended on the condition he be strictly supervised by territory families. But within 4 weeks, Mr. Shields was already committing breaches of the order's conditions, 3 of which related to the teen presenting to the government agency under the influence of alcohol. The breaches did not result in territory families alerting relevant authorities, and Mr. Shields enjoyed several more weeks of freedom, during which the fatal accident occurred. Bureaucrats' lack of action. Outrageous. Shields was arrested on February 8 and charged with dangerous driving causing death but was not placed in custody until earlier this week. On Wednesday, he appeared in court over his breaches of the supervision order, and he is expected to face court over the dangerous driving charge, for which he has not yet entered a plea, in April. Crown Prosecutor Stephen Geary told the Supreme Court the lack of action from territory families was outrageous, and suggested there needed to be an inquiry into the agency's lack of action. He also said the 30-year-old woman who died in the car accident could still be alive if proper protocol was followed. There are so many concerning issues about this, Mr. Geary said in court. This is shocking supervision of the offender by territory families. Justice Anthony Graham said if that was correct, it would be an outrage. If this is right, if the supervision has been such that he has committed 4 breaches within a few weeks after he is released on suspension, and then another 2 days later he is involved in an accident where somebody dies, and he is behind the wheel, if that's so, it is an outrage, he said. Territory families has been contacted for comment. Territory families should be investigated, Geary. Northern Australian Aboriginal Justice Agency, NAAJ, defence lawyer Beth Wild agreed territory families had not properly supervised the man. It was clear he was not responding to the supervision he was provided. He needs very strong support, she said. Justice Graham said, strong support means strong supervision, so you're saying he wasn't getting that? You're conceding that, are you? Ms. Wild responded, yes. She added it was clear Mr. Shields was going off the rails, and she agreed territory families should have done something. Mr. Geary suggested territory families' conduct be investigated, saying the organization may have misled the court, and noting the affidavit it provided at today's breach application did not refer to the fatal accident. Mr. Shields today had his jail sentence partially restored due his breaches, returning to Darwin Correctional Center. Justice Graham said Mr. Shields' breaches showed contempt for the system. It's clear that underlying his behavior is that this man already has a substantial problem with alcohol, he said, though each of these breaches are minor, and that leads me to the view that the offender has an inability to accepting penalties and seems to have a contempt for the system. Topics: police, courts and trials, family, politics and government. Darwin 0800